Hey, what's going on? My name is Jack Lane. Welcome back to a brand new video here at the channel. I am having too much fun with all this comic book movie news that is coming out. I'm just having too much fun, and the fun only is continuing. Again, Kevin Feige has come out and said more stuff about the MCU and its potential future. Let's jump on in and take a look. Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans MCU return, chances addressed by Kevin Feige. He says it can be done. This article's by Screen Rant, and as always, I give full props to Screen Rant on this, but for taking, and I managed to find this article. I'm excited to read it. Let's go down, okay? Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.'s chances of playing Captain America and Iron Man again receive a new update. The Marvel Cinematic Universe had its biggest success, including the most of Marvel's best movies during the Infinity Saga. A large part of that was due to the role Evans, Captain America, and Downey's Iron Man played in the franchise. While the two bowed out of the MCU in 2019's Avengers Endgame, there is a chance both actors could return to prize their roles in new MCU projects. Kevin Feige comments whether Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. could come back to the MCU. He goes on to say, according to Marvel Studios president Hugh Jackman's return as Wolverine after seemingly wrapping up his time in the role of Logan shows that Evans and Downey could come back. Evans has commented on coming back to the MCU multiple times, with Downey recently saying he's open to returning as Iron Man. According to Feige, it can happen as long as great care is taken. He says, and I quote, "That's the key, right? How do you do it in a way that maintains what has come before and in a great way? And we've been spending, the last 2+ years figuring that out for Wolverine. So what's to come? We'll see. We're just proud that I think, have figured it out for Wolverine. I think Hugh's appearance and starring role in Deadpool and Wolverine is a great sign that it can be done if great care is taken." Evans' return as Captain America could come in a few different ways. The character's fate in the MCU is unknown, with some characters believing Steve Rogers is dead and others thinking he is alive on the moon. There is a great chance that Captain America is still alive in the MCU, only old. Marvel Comics used a sentient cosmic cube persona to make Captain America young again. The MCU could go for a more conventional way, as Avengers Endgame established that time could flow through a character's body, making them young or old when the Avengers tested the time travel. As for Iron Man, RDJ's MCU return gets a little more complicated. While Evans Steve Rogers is still alive, Iron Man died in Avengers Endgame. As such, Marvel could have the Avengers somehow resurrect Tony Stark to help save the multiverse. However, there are options that allow Marvel not to mess with Iron Man's MCU. They are Tony Stark could be plucked from an earlier in the MCU before he died to help the Avengers. Downey could also return as Iron Man and a variant from the multiverse to help save the day. With Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars set to use the multiverse, Evans and Downey Jr. could return in either movie. Though the latter seems more likely, the MCU could also be bringing back both stars with a twist. An interesting way to see the actors return would be to have them play villains. Evan could play the Hydra version of Captain America from the comics, while Downey's rumoured Doctor Doom role, which I covered in a previous video by the way, could be how he returns, both being multiverse variants. And with San Diego Comic-Con around the corner, maybe Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.'s MCU returns could be announced. Then it goes on to state that May 1st, 2026 is when we're getting Avengers 5. Avengers Secret Wars is May 7th, 2027. And that's that, of course, and then shows you the lovely schedule that we have lined up. What are my thoughts? I've covered Robert Downey Jr. returning into the MCU, but as Doctor Doom in a previous video. I'm not going to cover that again here. There's no point, because I've already done a video, and if you want to watch that video, go check that video out. It was mildly successful for me on the channel. And also, Chris Evans wants to come back. He's been saying it ever since they wrote him out. And he went off into the sunset in 2019's Avengers Endgame. How he will probably come back, or how I'd want him to, is do a TV show. each episode showing him doing X, Y, and Z, returning the Infinity Stones. Have him maybe visit 2019's Avengers Endgame events in the parallel universe. Because there is a parallel universe out there. I just want to point that out. Thanos came back from coming back in time. To me, that means that the Thanos of 2014 doesn't exist in that timeline. Therefore, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is still alive in that timeline. That's how I interpreted it anyway. However, another interesting thing to point out here, another really interesting thing, is Chris Evans returning is probably more likely than Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I think he'll play Doctor Doom, honestly. I think we'll get RDJ as Doctor Doom. Maybe we'll get him back as Iron Man as well. I don't want them to bring him back for the sake of bringing him back and then be like, oh no, we ruined his ending because we brought him back and it just didn't work. Who wants that? No one. Chris Evans, I've said it from the very beginning, he should have got his own spin-off Disney Plus show. That show would have done really well. He should have got that show and should have gone boom away. And it should have focused on in returning the Infinity Stones. Then, in the new Captain America, they could have him in that. It's yet to be seen, but they could. How will they have him in that? Post-credit scene of an old wrinkled Captain America, Steve Rogers, sat in a chair at S.H.I.E.L.D., taking command, giving commands on a command ship. Why not? Bringing him back as a variant for working for Hydra. Yeah, could happen. Although Hydra's sort of been and done in the MCU. I mean, unless they're bringing back Red Skull and all the other villains from Hydra. I mean, they've got MODOK, so they could do something quite interesting. They could follow the Marvel Avengers animated show where they have like MODOK, Red Skull, what's his name? The vampire guy, the evil vampire. They could have all them show up. They could have all of them show up, and that'd be kind of cool, and that'd be kind of fun. I don't know. I like the idea that he's talking about them returning. I feel like because he's talking about it, it's going to happen. And when Kevin Feige talks like this, it means he's indicating that it is going to happen, but he wants to see what fans' reaction to it is. My reaction's very good. If they can do it well, if they can do it where it's not diminishing Endgame. I don't care if it diminishes Steve Rogers' Endgame ending, because that wasn't a heroic ending. He just spent his life with... It was an emotional one because he spent his life with the woman he loved, but at the same time, it wasn't like they killed him. RDJ, I think that's the only issue. Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man coming back, that's the only issue people will have. Will be like, well, how are you going to be doing it and not retconning or not ruining the impactful death we had? They've got to figure that out. I do think if RDJ decides to come back and they announce it for Secret Wars, they will do an Iron Man 4. They'll do an Iron Man 4 with him. They'll probably do a Captain America show with Chris Evans, because if you're bringing them back for one or two movies, just for the sake of bringing them back from, because that would be a money grab. Would be a money grab. Because they will pull in money. Iron Man's back. Everyone, boom, in the seats. Oh, he literally saves the day and then walks off and goes back to his own world and not to be seen again. Oh, what? We need Robert Downey Jr. back for the Ironheart series. We need him back for Iron Man 4. I really want to see him, Pepper, and his daughter's, Morgan's relationship just grow and blossom. Because Morgan would be... Oh, God, I don't even know. I don't even know what Morgan would be. At this point, I think the MCU's gone like another 2 years, about 7. And the whole point of Endgame, the way they did it, was that they couldn't alter the timeline because of Morgan. Tony was like, no, we cannot alter this timeline. We cannot change a single thing. Bringing him back has emotional impact on the viewers, emotional impact for the MCU. I feel like if they did it right, the first character that should see Robert Downey Jr. and I think I said this in another video, maybe not, maybe I said it to someone else, but they should have 3 portals open. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man walks out. 1. Tom Holland's Spider-Man goes, I can't believe you're here. Maguire's Spider-Man walks out of the other. And they're now thinking he stands up slowly. Very shocked to see them. The world is coming to an end. And they've come to his rescue. He stands silent for a moment. The 3rd guy exits the portal. It's RDJ's Iron Man. And he runs towards them. And the 2 Spider-Man think he's coming to give us a hug. And he throws his arms around Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Variant. And goes, Mr. Stark, you're back. That would be an emotional payoff that would work. If you had the likes of Doctor Strange see him. No. Doctor Strange is a liar, and we know that from Multiverse of Madness. Just pointing it out. Doctor Strange could have killed Thanos. We found that out in Multiverse of Madness because he did in other universes. So, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you want Chris Evans? Do you want Robert Downey Jr. to be returning to the MCU? Do you want all of this stuff to happen? Or are you a bit like me going, well, I want it done if it's done right? Or are you just done with it? Are you like, no, we've had the Infinity Saga. That was their saga. Let this new generation take it on. Even though it's been a rocky, we now seem to be hitting a level path with it. And I'm very excited to see where it goes. But with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Trying to build a channel that is for you guys, the viewers. Of course, focusing a lot on comic book movies at the moment because San Diego Comic Con is literally starting tomorrow as of recording this. And by the time it uploads, it'll be yeah. So, starts tomorrow with Hall H's, Marvel's, Deadpool and Wolverine special celebration panel. And I'm sure we're going to be getting some news there as well about the future of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in the MCU. I'm expecting it. I'm quite excited for it. Got some other Marvel videos coming out today. Got some possibly DC stuff, maybe, if there's any more DC news. What I have found is some Marvel videos do really well on this channel and others just don't. But Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans returning is an exciting prospect. Let me know your thoughts down below, of course. And like I said before, subscribe and like. We're going for it. We're just going to start smashing out content here. I've just bought a new microphone and a new camera, so I'm going to have a better setup now than I do, which is crazy to think because I've already got a really good setup as it is. But I'm very excited for the way this channel is going. I'm very excited for the prospects of what I want to do with this channel. I have a lot of ideas. A lot of things are coming. So buckle on in as we are going to head straight on forward for the MCU, the DCU revival, Warner Brothers new projects. Every single movie you can think of, we are talking about here. So with that being said, as always, see you in the next one, and stay cinematic.